Russian missile attacked market in Konstantinivka in Donbas area. I know this town very good. One of Honcharenko centers worked there before the full-scale invasion. Unfortunately, after the start of full-scale invasion, we stopped it because it was too dangerous. And now you see that, unfortunately, this town, as the whole eastern Ukraine, is suffering from this Russian barbarism and barbaric attacks against absolutely civilian objects. 17 people are killed, including one child. Dozens are wounded.
And we understand that the market was busy at the time that the missile struck.
Yeah, that was not a night. That was the most busy time during the day when the attack happened.
And we have, of course, seen terrible loss of life throughout this war, but this does appear to have been very much targeted at, well, civilians going about their ordinary lives.
Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, this is Russian playbook of war. That's how their warfare looks like. Attacks against civilians, terror against people, just usual, ordinary people.
But this is a town which is fairly close to the front line.
Yeah, exactly. That is very close. It is one of the towns of Donbas area, which is very, very close.
And this comes, of course, as Ukraine is still attempting to regain more territory along that eastern front line. Do you think that there is some frustration there at the lack of progress?
We have progress today. Antony Blinken is in Kiev, and he said that Ukraine has good progress in counteroffensive. It's not so good like we all want to, but, that's a tipping point. We don't know, will it happen or not? Will we break through Russian lines or not? Exactly 1 year ago, Ukrainian counteroffensive in Kharkiv area started, and Russians collapsed there on the second day. Can it happen again? Yes. But am I sure that this will happen? Not. I don't know how it will continue.
Because it does appear that although Ukraine has regained some territory, that the progress has been painfully slow. I mean, particularly as the Russian forces appear to be very well dug in.
Yes, they're very well dug in, entrenched. They mined the area. They continue to do this. That's why it's so difficult for our troops to move ahead. The question is, will we succeed to break these Russian lines? If we will succeed, Russian front line can collapse just in days, in hours maybe. But will it happen or not, nobody can tell you. We have time near till the end of October when the weather will change, and that will be much more difficult to move ahead.
So in a sense, this is a small window, really, when there is still at least a chance that Ukrainian forces could make a breakthrough, a matter of weeks, really.
Yeah, that's true. We have near a month and a half, maximum 2 months, before we can make conclusions about this year campaign.
You mentioned Antony Blinken, the American Secretary of State. This terrible attack came while he was in the country for talks. How important is the support that Ukraine is receiving from its allies, from the United States, from the UK and others?
It's vital for us, absolutely vital. Without this support, we would not survive. So this support is so important, and we are very thankful to all our allies, first of all, to our biggest allies, which is United States, United Kingdom, European Union countries, for all support we are receiving. Special thanks to the United Kingdom for leadership, which is showed by the UK during all these awful year and a half.
And what do you understand is the greatest need now from the Ukrainian forces?
Today, the most important for us is long-range missile attackers for HIMARSs, or more Storm Shadows or Scalps. By the way, again, the United Kingdom was the first country which started to provide us with long-range missiles. So that is very, very important. Secondly, everything is about air power. So finally, we have decisions about F-16 training and F-16 delivery, but we hope it will be much faster. because we need it faster than it comes now. Because probably it will be just the summer of next year when we will have F-16 in Ukrainian F-16s with Ukrainian pilots in Ukrainian skies. But it would be much better if it would be earlier. And ammunition, that is very important for us to receive ammunition in needed numbers.
We saw this week the meeting between Turkey's President Erdogan and President Putin. And afterwards, both leaders talked about at least the possibility of reviving the grain deal so that Ukraine can export some of its grain supplies through the Black Sea ports. How important would that be for Ukraine?
It's very important for Ukraine, but at the same time, it's very important for the world. Because according to estimations of United Nations, 400 million people throughout the planet are dependent from the calories from Ukrainian crops. So that is important for the whole world. Putin took as a hostage the whole planet by this attack on the Black Sea. And that is very disappointing that the free world allowed him to block the Black Sea. That is a very bad precedent. I mean, not only about grain, but as in general about commercial navigation in the Black Sea. And it's very bad precedent. I mean, today he blocked the Black Sea. Tomorrow he will try to block the Baltic Sea or Arctic waters. Or Chairman Xi will decide to block the South and Chinese Sea. And the results of this, the consequences will be devastating.
And is that why we do appear to have seen a slight change in tactics by the Ukrainian forces in terms of these attacks on Russian targets themselves, down in the Black Sea, but also into Moscow with drones and so on?
Yeah, during August, almost every day there were drone attacks on Russian objects inside Russia, and with very, very good results. Like, for example, only a week ago, attack on Pskov aerodrome, where several Russian military cargo jets were destroyed. And we see that Ukraine shows that it is absolutely possible to reach aims inside Russian territory. And all these so-called red lines of Russia are really nothing. And Russia really can't do anything about this.
Is there any concern, though, that by taking this attack beyond Ukraine's soil onto Russian territory, that could perhaps undermine some of the Western support for Ukraine?
I don't think so. Why? Russia started the war against Ukraine. We have all the right for self-defense. And if Russia doesn't want its territory to be attacked, it's very easy just to stop this war and to leave Ukraine. That's all. We don't want to take any inch of Russian territory. But when Russians are on our territory, we have all the right, moral and juridical, to attack any objects on their territory.